friends! Welcome to Much Ado About Gaming. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for your patience. How are all of you today? Are you having a great day? I hope so. My name is Jessa Blackthorne, and welcome to Much Ado About Gaming, the WizKids Board Game Showcase. I am so excited to be here talking to you all, as I do every week. And we have a really great show for you today. I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of tied to something we're doing next week as well, so I'm excited about that. But you'll find that out a little bit later. But for today, what we are doing is we are unboxing Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up. Now, you might remember that one of the very first episodes, if not the first episode of Much Ado About Gaming, was unboxing Super-Skill Pinball and talking about it. And I'm so excited that we can continue that trend and talk about Ramp It Up, which is the second game in the Super-Skill Pinball series. The first one was Super-Skill Pinball 4K, and now we have Ramp It Up, which is coming out next week. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting and so amazing. Just a few quick reminders before I start. This is a live show. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. You can type questions or question in all caps and then your question, and I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So if I'm able to answer it, I will. But this is a show about board games, so the show, I mainly talk about board games here on the show. If you have questions about our other product lines, HeroClix, Dice Masters, Attack Wing, RPG, things like that, the best place to get that information is our social media, WizKids Games on Twitter and Instagram, WizKids on Facebook. I do also host the RPG Showcase, Model Behavior, every Wednesday. So if you have questions about RPG, that is a great place to look and ask those questions. But without any further ado, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I've said that 3 times already, but really, I just love that you guys tune in with me every week. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited to get to this unboxing. It's going to be kind of a quicker show today. This game is amazing. It just doesn't have a huge amount of components. So it's going to be a shorter show today, but I promise you next week's show will make up for that. We are tying this into a show next week that I will talk about in a little bit. But without any further ado, let's get this party started. Or let's ramp this party up, I should say. So as you can see here, we have the beautiful Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up. And it is really, I love it. Already. I love the colors. I love the neon pink. I am a big fan of the color pink, and so I really love this logo. I think it's fantastic, and the box really shows off the art from the different tables. We did something similar with the box for Super-Skill Pinball 4K, but this really gives you a good sense of the tables, and you can see that the art styles are really different for all 4 tables, and we also included the accolades that Super-Skill Pinball 4K received, and really it was super worth it because the game is just amazing. Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up is, of course, a game for 1 to 4 players, so you can play it solo, or you can play it with up to 4 people, or you could play it with more. If you got multiple copies of the game, you can play it with as many people as you want. But it's for ages 12 and up, and that's because it has some small parts that you'll see in a second. It plays in about 30 minutes, and it is $24.99, which is a great price point for the amount of game you get here. This game is also super convenient and portable. You can't necessarily play it while standing, but like if you're, now that we're kind of starting to go out places again, like if you want to go to a coffee shop, sit down, play a game, this is a great option for that. So let's start by opening this box. Oh, it got a little messed up. I dropped it this morning because I am a clumsy person. The box got a little nicked up. So this is what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, it has the plastic baggies, which you'll see what those are for in a second. But it also has the rule book right here. The rulebook, again, features the cover art and just a quick overview of how to play the game. The game is super easy to learn. It's got a lot of numbers and counting going on with the dice rolling, but in terms of like actually picking up the mechanics, it's really straightforward. And what's really cool is everything is directly inspired by mechanics you see in actual physical pinball machines. And so that really makes it even more intuitive to learn, especially if you grew up playing a lot of pinball. You play a lot of pinball now. If you really enjoy pinball, you'll really understand where the mechanics are coming from, and I think that's really cool about it. And it was designed, of course, I haven't mentioned this, by the amazing Jeff Engelstein, who is a fantastic game designer, and who we are going to have on the show next week. He is going to come and celebrate the release of Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up with me. We are going to play a couple rounds of Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up, and I am so excited to have him on the show. We're going to be playing, I think, one of the print and play tables. So you will be able to play along by printing out that table and joining us as we are playing. So as the rulebook, as you can see, has, just like with previous iterations of, or I should say just as in 4K, it has the scoreboard so you can track what your scores are and try to be the high score winner, including Jeff's scores on each of the 4 tables. And it has achievements, which is pretty cool. So it has specific achievements for each table. So the achievements for Go for Gold, for example, say complete the falls during multi-ball. So that's the falls is the backglass game in Go for Gold, and then complete 5 loops with 3 flume loop bonus, and score 30 stars pan bonus. So there's really a lot of extra fun going on here. I'm a person who, in gaming, in all types of gaming, board games, video games, I really like collecting achievements. I'm one of those people, which is fun but terrible when you play a lot of really long games. Luckily, Super-Skill Pinball plays quickly, so it seems like the achievements will kind of keep you coming back and really add to the replayability, but it's not something that you're necessarily going to be... They're challenging, but I don't think you're going to be ripping your hair out for them, which I think is really nice. I think they're really well-designed achievements, so that's really cool. So you have the rulebook, and then you have the quick start guide, which really just gives you an introduction to the rules for Go for Gold, which is the beginner table in this game. So you have that. It gives you just a really good overview of how the game plays, how the mechanics work for each of the zones, and there's more detail in the rulebook for all of the tables, but the quick start guide is really great if you're, just learning the game, and that's really fun. Next, of course, we have the WizKids Booklet, which just has a couple of our upcoming games in it. So we have Ramp It Up is right here, and then Free Radicals, which is a game that's coming up, which I'm probably going to be talking about in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. There may not be a show in 2 weeks because we may take off for the holiday, but we'll see. We'll see. There may be a show. Maybe I'll pre-record a show for you all. Just all of the games that we think you would love. So these are included in most, if not all, of WizKids' newest board games. So it's a really great way to learn about what we have coming up outside of, watching this show. And then we have, these are the actual tables. So I'm gonna move the box over for a minute. So these are all shrink wrapped together. You can see there's enough for up to 4 players to play out of one box. I am just opening this really quickly. Do I have my opening plastic pen? I do. I'm always afraid to open plastic with a pen because, what if you accidentally write on the thing? But this pen does not work. So I have started its new life has become opening shrink wrap for me. Yeah. So I gotta say, the art on Ramp It Up is just really well done. I really love how vibrant the colors in this game are. So, there was a lot of vibrancy in 4K, and there's a lot of vibrancy in this game. And the colors, I just really love Go for Gold. I like the colors. I think the gophers are cute. So the theme of Go for Gold, it's kind of like a log flume. So you kind of go through the different loops, and then, so it goes like that. and you have the table, and you have the different things. So I misspoke. I'm sorry. I should clarify better. So the falls are basically a thing that you come down off the back glass. So the falls are over here. I said that the falls were the back glass minigame, and that wasn't quite right. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick. So you fill in the falls as you go, but when you fill in all 6, that is when you complete that achievement. I believe, yeah. So if you fill in all 6 of these during multi-ball, that's when you complete that achievement. So that's what the falls is. But you can see it has just really fantastic setup, and the gophers are so cute. So this is actually the print and play table. So if you want to check out this first table from Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up, you can go to WizKids.com, go to Box Strategy Games, and then click on Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up, and there is a free download of this. So you can check it out, you can play it, you can have some fun with it. I'm not going to get as close with the other tables, but just so you can kind of see, it just is stellar. And of course the tables are double-sided, so the back of Go for Gold is Top Speed. Top Speed, the theme is racing. It's like a race car, and you are basically trying to add to your dice rolls to speed up, so you're adjusting your speed as you're playing, and that grows your bonuses, but you want to be careful because GM Workshop. Achievements are just kind of for bragging rights, but you can, I mean, it might be fun to, like, make it a challenge where, like, you get extra points if you're the first one to do an achievement in a playthrough or something, so that's something to keep in mind. But anyway, so for Top Speed, you're adding 1, 2, or 3 to your dice rolls, which grows your bonuses, like I said, but that can cause you, of course, to be outside of the numbers that you need for the flippers, and suddenly you're past the flippers and you lose your ball. So it's really about weighing the value of, do I want to add to this dice roll and risk missing the flippers? So you have to be careful, and that's one thing that's really cool about Top Speed. And it really, again, this one really, I think, among all of the ones in this particular game, this particular Ramp It Up edition, I think Top Speed, like the aesthetic of it and the way it's designed, really reminds me the most of, like, I would go into a pinball arcade and I could see this back glass being just on a pinball table. Like, visually speaking, I mean. I think all of these, you know, pinball tables in this one and in 4K all could be on a real pinball table, but I think just visually, like, this is the one I could see walking into my local arcade, which I think is really cool. So this is the backside of Go for Gold. So we have that. And then there are, of course, 4 of these, because it goes up to 4 players. So I should also say the board for this, if you haven't played 4K, the cardstock, it's kind of like, I guess it's cardstock. The cardstock for this, it's laminated, and it's really, really solid. So, like, and you'll see when I use the markers on it in a minute, that the markers erase really nicely on it. It's really well designed. And I really like that. So, the next table we have is High Roller Heist, which is so cool. So what you're doing is you're planning a heist, and the game, the table kind of plays in 2 parts. So what you do is you choose your targets for your heist. So there are 3 possible targets. Wait, where's the target on this one? I don't remember. Oh, goodness. So you choose 3 possible targets to your heist. They're on the back glass. And then you also choose your crew for your heist. So who do you want to bring with you on your heist? And each of the targets is represented by a unique minigame on the back glass, all kind of inspired by casino games. So it's really, really fun, and it has, again, a lot of replayability because there's so many different combinations of target and crew that you can choose to really add to your gameplay enjoyment. So this is what the High Roller Heist one looks like. So you can see how fantastic it looks. I also really like the way this one is designed. Again, this one feels like a casino. So they really nailed the aesthetic, I think, in general on this game. And then the last table of the 4 tables we have is called Pin Pals. So this is a unique game a unique table because you're teaming up in teams of 2, and each teammate has a slightly different table, based on kind of what you choose. So as you play, you activate bonuses for each other, and then you build extra multipliers when you enter the cage, which is at the top. So it's really cool because instead of getting your own bonuses, you are getting the bonuses for your teammates. So it really requires a little bit of extra strategy there because you're constantly, you're playing, you're trying to win, you're trying to go and earn points, but you're also discussing what bonus do you want. And this one I played way back when we were, developing this. And I remember, constantly talking about, hey, do you want multi-ball? What do you want? Do you want more points? What do you want? And it really added a lot of interaction to the game, which I think is something a lot of people really wanted from 4K. And we really listened and wanted to bring that into this game, this version, ramp it up. So that's really great. So that's what this looks like. And it's like wrestling themed, and it's like fun and kind of quirky, and I really like that. So I just wanted, so that's what I thought. So the tables you'll see they have 4 different characters. So I'll show you on the, shook the camera. I'll show you on the back glasses. The back glasses actually have 4 different characters. Hulk Reality, hello, thank you for tuning in. So the back glasses have 4 different characters on them. And each character's table is slightly different, and you'll see they actually say, this character is Bald Eagle, and he pairs with Abra Slam Lincoln, which I think is so funny. So you would, the teammates would be these 2, and then you would pick the tables that go with them, which have the relevant characters on them. So the other character that we were looking at, Hey Bale Hicks, pairs with El Avogato. So El Avogato, you see he pairs with Hey Bale Hicks. It's a really great, easy way to reference that, and they're designed to really work together very well, which is, I think, pretty cool. So that is the 4 tables. Oh, GM Workshop, thank you. I don't have a new camera yet. I just fixed the white balance. I am still looking at that top-down camera, though. I think the lighting is just better today. But if this continues to work, I might just stick with this. But I do have that in mind, so thank you. So we're going to go for gold again, so I can kind of show you guys the next components, which are the markers. So these are the same dry erase markers that we included in Super-Skill Pinball, the first one. And they are really fantastic. They erase so nicely, and I've talked about these erasers before. They're slightly angled, which makes it easier to see what you're erasing. So that's what the marker looks like, and so I'm gonna not actually play, because we're gonna play next week, so I'm just gonna draw on the board so you can see just how nicely these erase. You can see I've just kind of drawn a mess on the back glass there, and I'm not even using that much pressure, which is really nice, and it just erases so cleanly. Like, there's not a trace of that marker anywhere on the board, and it still shines, which is really, really nice. So there are 4 of these markers included, and they're honestly the nicest markers I've ever gotten in any roll and write game. So if you're someone who, you buy your own markers for your roll and writes, I would say maybe this one. Give the markers that come in the box a try, because they are pretty great. And then, of course, I'm saving my favorite thing for last, because I think these are great. So, of course, we have dice. So we have 2 sets of dice. So there's the black and white traditional dice, and then we also have themed pink and blue dice. So the pink and blue dice are translucent, and they are so pretty. They match the logo for the game, and they match the aesthetic of the game, and I really, really like them. They're super fun, and they kind of have What's really, yeah, so the pink and blue dice are slightly more rounded than the regular dice. They're both more rounded than traditional cube dice, but the corners on the pink and blue are much more rounded, and the faces are round. And then the black and white dice are more closer to the traditional, more cubic dice, but with rounded corners. So there's 4 of those, and then of course we have the Pinball Movers. These are probably my favorite component in the game. They were my favorite component in the last game, and they are my favorite component now. So these are little, I don't even know what to call them. I call them Pinball Movers now because that's what they're really called. So they are little plastic token things. They're little tokens that are cut in half to look like pinballs. But they're flat on the bottom because you move these across the table as you're playing. And that's, that's how they integrate into the game. And so they're really easy to move. They slide right across the board. And then they are fully reflective. They're silver and they look just like pinballs, just cut in half. So I really love these. They come in 4K. They come in this game. So definitely check them out. Check out 4K. And definitely pick this one up as well. There's so much variety to this game and 4K. Like, it feels like 2 completely different games, even though they use the same mechanics. And I found that, I had a lot of fun with 4K when it first came out, and I'm excited to have a lot of fun with this one as well, because I think there's a lot of variety in the tables, and a lot of, replayability to kind of keep you coming back again and again. So there are 8 of these Pinball Movers. And the reason there are 8 is because even though the game plays 4 players, if you have multi-ball, you have 2 balls at a time, and it's possible to have 4 players who all have multi-ball, so you want to make sure that you have enough movers for that. And like I said, you can of course buy multiple copies of the game to bring the game up to a higher player count. So, the game actually, okay, I made a mistake. I just double-checked the components. The game actually only comes with 2 dice. That's right, because the opponents share the dice rolls. So the game only comes with these 2 dice. So the reason these 2 dice were in here is not because they come with the game. That is fully my mistake. I apologize. GM Workshop, I agree with you. It's only because of the small parts, especially with the pinball things. That's why it says 12 and up. Use your discretion, of course. The game only comes with the pink and blue dice, so I apologize again for that confusion. The black and white dice were just in the box because this is a kind of sample copy we had at the office, and we had been testing everything with black and white dice, and these are the actual dice that come with the game. So that's great because it means that you have these beautiful dice on your table, and you don't have to worry about black and white dice. So if you want 4 dice, I guess you'll just have to buy 2 copies of the game. I guess that's what you're going to have to do. Oh no. Oh goodness. But that is the components of Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up. So we are going to go ahead and start putting this away. So this is, like I said, I'm going to just kind of reiterate a couple things. This is a standalone sequel to Super-Skill Pinball 4K. So if you have played 4K, the mechanics are generally the same. Of course, each of the tables has unique mechanics and unique minigames that don't exist in 4K. It also adds ramps for the first time, which were highly requested in 4K. And that's why it's called Ramp It Up, is because the game contains the ramps as a mechanic. And they really add a lot of fun to the game. So we are going to put the marker away. I'm going to put these away this way. And yeah, so it's, I mean, for a $24.99 game, you're getting a lot of game here. And I really think it's absolutely worthwhile. This is such a fantastic game. So I'm going to make sure this is organized. Alright, so I'm actually going to keep a copy of Go for Gold out and put it in last because I'm probably going to use it next week. Actually, that doesn't make sense because all the components are on the bottom anyway. GM Workshop, I agree. The simplicity of the insert for this game really, really highlights just how well planned everything is in this game and how well designed everything is. It takes 2 seconds to put away. Like, I'm already done putting it away. I'm not fighting with the game to try and solve, you know, putting everything away. So, that's that, and then we put the box lid back on, and that is Super-Skill Pinball, Ramp It Up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this unboxing. The game is 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and it plays in 30 minutes, and like I said, it's $24.99, and it is coming out next week, so that is November 24th. So, perfect, pick it up, bring it to Thanksgiving dinner, play it with your family. This is actually, I think, a really great option for a game that you can play with your family, because most people's family members have, especially older family members, have played pinball at least once in their lives. Or, you know, listened to a whole album about pinball that I can't say the name of, but is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. And I listen to it every time I play this game. But barring that, it's just a really fantastic game, and it's so easy to learn, and it's a lot of fun. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I will have designer Jeff Engelstein here on the show, and we're going to play a couple rounds of Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up, and I am so excited. So that'll be next week at noon on Tuesday. That's the 23rd, and that's how we're going to be celebrating the release of Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up. And, of course, we have Model Behavior tomorrow, Wednesday at noon, and tomorrow's episode of Model Behavior is super exciting. Oh, yes, actually, that's a good point, GM Workshop. This game is also a fantastic stocking stuffer for the holidays, so that's also something to keep in mind. But Model Behavior has a super exciting show that you are going to want to tune in for, because what we are doing is... Oops! All Dragons! I will be showing you 3 of the upcoming D&D Icons of the Realms premium dragons, including the long-awaited green dragon. I have it. It is in my house. I am going to show it to you. You are going to see it. You are going to love it. We're going to have the gold dragon. We're going to have the emerald dragon. It is going to be a dragon party in here. It's going to be so much fun. So definitely tune in for that. That is tomorrow at noon here on the WizKids YouTube channel or Twitch channel, or Facebook Live, wherever it is you are tuning in from. So check that out. It's going to be absolutely great. But after that, guys, thank you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful Tuesday. Be sure to like and share this video if you enjoyed it and you are on YouTube or Facebook. If you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow us on social media, we are WizKids Games on Twitter and Instagram, and WizKids on Facebook. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at _Blackthorne. Blackthorne is spelled BLACKTHORNE on Twitter and Instagram, and I am Jessa Blackthorne on Facebook. I would love for you to follow me. I would love for you to follow WizKids, and but thank you so much either way. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. I love you. WizKids loves you. Be sure to pre-order Super-Skill Pinball Ramp It Up at your friendly local game store or online, or pick it up next Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.